Hey, welcome back, friends. Today we're going to talk about our itinerary. That's hard for me to say. Our itinerary.
Yes.
Our itinerary for Glacier National Park. So you guys know we're mostly an RV channel, but this trip we did not take the RV. We simply don't have time to take 5 days from Georgia and tow out to Montana and take 5 days back. So, and you got to try to put a vacation in there somewhere as well. So we just don't have time for that. And we sure are not going to wait for retirement. That's never guaranteed. So this was a fly out, stay in VRBOs, stay in inns type of trip. A lot of you have asked for this itinerary, so today we're going to talk about Glacier. You ready to go?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Today's video is brought to you by eTrailer.com. eTrailer.com is your one-stop trusted source for anything trailer related. And if you're in a towable like this, you just got a trailer really. So let me show you what I talk about when I talk about anything trailer related. Need a new set of stairs? eTrailer.com. Stabilizer jacks? eTrailer.com. How about a new awning? eTrailer.com. eTrailer.com has furnaces, tongue jacks, water heaters. Need a part for your slide mechanism? eTrailer.com. Do you need a microwave, a stove, a fridge? eTrailer.com. You can go to eTrailer.com and even get new furniture. Not only does eTrailer have all of these great parts for you guys to choose from, they've also got really good customer service that'll help you decide, is this the right part for you? So grateful for eTrailer sponsorship. Let's get back into today's video.
All right, friends, this is video 3 of 3. We've already done our Grand Teton video. We've already done our Yellowstone video. This is our Glacier video. Brooke has the itinerary printed out in front of her. I have our pictures to try to keep us in order, so I'm not being ugly, I'm not being rude, looking at my phone for no reason. I'm trying to make this a little bit better video, as good as we can do anyway. So we have now left Yellowstone. We finished Yellowstone. Go back and check that video out if you're interested there. And we had a 6.5-hour drive up to Glacier National Park.
That's right. So
beautiful drive.
Right. We woke up, hit the road by, I don't know, 9. And it was beautiful. Like you said, it was certainly some big sky.
Yes.
We got to drive through. We stopped, I don't know, an hour or so into the drive, grabbed coffee and breakfast on the way, and kept going until we got to West Glacier.
Yeah.
And we got to West Glacier, and we had lunch right there in West Glacier and checked out some of the stores. So I'd say be prepared. You're probably going to get there. We were there probably not quite in time to check in, so we wasted some time.
Check-in was at 4. I think we got there about 2:30.
Yeah, so we spent some time visiting some of the shops right there in West Glacier. Everything's within walking distance. And we had lunch at, I think it's pronounced Freda's.
Freda apostrophe S.
Yes, we had lunch there.
Freda's been there a long time, I think since like the 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it was really good.
It was good, yes. So I would say we can already kind of come out and say, like, the food we had at Glacier was better than what we had in the park at Yellowstone.
Right. So we've talked about the food at Yellowstone. Glacier food's way better.
It was better. So had lunch there, and after we shopped around a little bit, it was time to check into our really incredible cabin on Lake McDonald.
So this cabin, I found it on VRBO. I will link it down in the description. This cabin was built before the park, or at least its predecessor. The lot was bought before the park was built in 1910. The original cabin, I believe, it's like a 15 by 15 little square cabin. It's still there. But since then, they had built a more modern, it's probably still built in the late 70s, 80s, maybe.
I'm guessing,
yeah. Well kept,
yeah.
But that's the cabin that we stayed in, was the newer version, of course. I mean, it is it's 10 feet from the shore of Lake McDonald. And all of the colorful rocks you always see, that was the beach. I mean, we walked through all of that. Now, they're not as colorful as you see on Instagram. Yeah. Those are filtered out. But they're still beautiful. They still are colorful.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
And the view, you're seeing it now. I put it on a Facebook post. I was so sad to leave that view, but so blessed to have ever had it. This place is incredible. There's a letter. I spent a lot of time on this because this is a special place. There's a letter that they included in the history of this cabin. The guy basically offered to sell the federal government, the Department of Interior, his lot to include in the park for $1,000 back in 1930. and they turned it down, said it was too much money. And so I talked to the caretaker there, and who takes care of the VRBO. She says that lot is now worth about $12 million. So so crazy. Maybe the most expensive place we've ever stayed as far as what it's worth.
As far as value.
As far as value
Yeah.
of what it's worth.
Yeah.
But man, super cool. If you could do something like that, I'd highly suggest it. But you're seeing B-roll of the cabin. You've already seen that or
Yeah,
whatever.
not
and-
super fancy,
so-
but just right. It was enough. It was
Just right.
good, and you can't beat the view. So.
Right. And you can see I'm putting a picture up. I had my binoculars out there with a little beer, just looking across the lake, looking for moose, looking for. I never saw any, but
But we tried.
But it was fun to watch. It was really really cool. And so yeah, we checked in, and then what was the first thing we did? We rode up the going. Now let me also say this: we were there before going to the Sun Road opens. And I know a lot of you will say, well, gosh, that's the whole reason to go to Glacier. You may not be wrong about that, but we got to do a lot, and we're going to talk about all of that. But we also beat the crowds. It was never crowded in Glacier.
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Nobody's there yet. So going to the Sun Road doesn't open for another couple weeks. At that point, it becomes a zoo. But yeah, at this point, we did not have to have auto entry reservations. We had our America the Beautiful pass, so we could go in and out of the park as we pleased. There was no reservations that needed to be made. We were outside of that window. Basically, we were there in the end of shoulder season.
Yes.
So off season, then if shoulder season, getting ready for the big season, which is now probably about starting right about now that we're doing this video, and then they have another shoulder season, and they'll have the off season.
Yeah.
So we were there in shoulder season. I highly suggest going there in that time if you don't like crowds, because we didn't have any. It was great.
We did not have any. We had great weather. We got super fortunate with the weather. I think it snowed a few days before we got there. Not a lot, so I didn't see it. But
That is the chance you take if you go in shoulder season.
it's hit or miss with the snow. We had down jackets some days, and I think our last day we wore shorts.
Yep.
So, all right. So once we had lunch, we checked out the cabin. We
Yes.
went over to Apgar Village, which you could walk to from our cabin.
You could.
And we checked out some of the stores there, rooted around a little bit.
Cool little stores.
Yeah, they really did have great stores. A lot of local Montana goods in these stores, which I thought was cool. One of my hobbies is to purchase local pottery from the different places we travel, and Townley and I both actually found
Well,
some
you got to
local
go get
pottery.
it. Show 'em.
I think it's in the dishwasher.
Oh, maybe in the
I've
dishwasher.
already used it.
Maybe I'll take a picture of it. Beautiful pottery.
Oh,
yeah.
now Beckett's going to look for me. Thanks, buddy.
You looking, buddy?
I think it's in the top rack.
Yeah, see if it's up there.
Careful.
Just bring
Huh?
one.
No, that's not it.
That's from a different
actually
one.
a different trip.
Yeah. It's the smaller one.
It's like really short, brown on the bottom, kind of bluish on the top. Or Townley's is yellow, if you see hers.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that's Townley.
Bring that one.
So you can
Yeah.
bring that one. So Townley picked out this one. Super cool. Ours are almost identical, but really pretty local pottery. Mine's just a different color on the top. So
You've got probably, gosh, close to 15 mugs.
yeah, and I love them because they're all unique and they all
They're
remind
cool.
me of a special time. So
That is a cool thing to collect.
So we checked out the stores, and then we ate at Eddie's
Mm-hmm.
in Apgar Village that night. Super convenient, and
We actually rode up going to Sun Road for a little while first.
you mentioned that.
Yeah, we it was open to avalanche, and so you could go a good 5 to 8 miles up the side of Lake McDonald, get past Lake McDonald up into Avalanche, and we did that. We did a couple of the pullouts and looked at some of the waterfalls. Beautiful area up there. But yeah, we did that, and then we ate. So
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry.
And here's a picture of Beckett with a payphone. You don't see those much anymore. So, and then after that, we went back, after we ate, we went back to the cabin and literally just played in Lake McDonald. And I think that was maybe
We did that
some of
a
the
few
coolest thing we did was just play in Lake McDonald. We skipped rocks, we waited a little bit. Townley got crazy and got all the way in, which
multiple times.
I got brave and did that later, but I couldn't get brave enough that first night.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, just
And then we did
Hung out with a mule deer?
Yeah, we did a little
Yeah.
wildlife watching from the back deck.
Yeah, it's
which
crazy.
was really special because
we got to do that a few times.
yeah, it was they'd
So.
get close. So I think we were tired after that.
And then we had a fire.
Yeah.
I'm looking through our pictures to make sure we go through all. I can't say enough about that cabin. Just if you can get that thing, it's crazy. Next morning, woke up, had some coffee, and we did a tour with Whitefish Outfitters. We are not affiliated with them. I found them online and saw a tour of East Glacier. So we're staying kind of in West Glacier, Apgar area, And so we wanted to see the other side of the park. I was sick of driving at this point, and so it was nice to have somebody else drive us around.
Yeah, Mr. Joel drove us around.
I'm
And that
gonna go
morning, just to
through-
mention, there's a mercantile in Apgar Village, so we grabbed like cereal, oatmeal, and just ate there
Yeah.
before we headed out. So just for planning purposes, no, there's a mercantile.
Most of
there
our
if we
breakfasts
needed.
are done at wherever we're staying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not big breakfast.
The
people.
East Glacier tour with Whitefish Outfitters. I'm going to list I'm going to link them below, but I'm going to list what all we saw. So if you think you go and you go in the Sun Road is closed, you can't do anything. That's incorrect. So the great tour. Joel was our tour guide. He was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Looking Glass Road is incredible. It's kind of a going to the Sun Road Junior. It was really nice. It was one of the best drives that you're going to have out there, minus going to the Sun Road. We did Two Medicine. We did Bear Creek. Glacier Park Lodge is very impressive. I mean, it's as impressive, almost as impressive as Old Faithful
Almost,
Inn.
yeah.
Running Eagle Falls is beautiful. That's a stunning area. Goat Lick Canyon.
Yes.
We did see some goats. We had to stop on the second time to see the goats. Bring your binoculars again. Get you some binoculars. Silver Staircase Falls. And we had lunch at a place, I think I'm pronouncing this right, Keyo Mercantile.
Yes.
It was at the end of the Looking Glass Road, and I had to get that list out there.
And I think by the time you're at the end of Looking Glass Road, you are on the Blackfoot Reservation, if I'm correct.
The whole time you're on the Blackfoot, yeah.
So and then we drove back through a little bit of the reservation,
Right.
so we could have a really cool view coming back toward the park. So
Right, and
that
I'm showing
was
you some
neat.
pictures. Here's a picture of Staircase Falls. Here is a picture of, let's see. I don't think I got a picture of the goats. They were just too far away. You wouldn't have been able to see it. Here's some footage of the East Glacier Lodge. The back deck is just stunning there. Another payphone, which I thought that was funny. Here is a picture of, was it Two Eagles, did I say? Was it
It's
two?
not Two Eagles, it's something.
Oh gosh, what was it? Let me go back and look.
Real quick, while you're looking for that, some of these places we're mentioning are right on the side of the road.
Running Eagle.
Running Eagle, okay.
Yeah.
Running Eagle was a short half-mile, very easy hike.
It wasn't a hike, it was a
Mostly
stroll.
paved. Okay, a stroll.
Yeah.
Well, you would climb down toward the river a little bit. It wasn't a hike, but yeah, you're right. It was short, but everything else was pretty much, you drive almost right up to it. So easy to see if you do have some mobility challenges.
Right. Yeah, you can see some of the short hike we did there to Running Eagle. And then Two Medicine, there's some pictures from Two Medicine. The store at Two Medicine is original. It's from the 20s or 30s. It's really, really old. And then these pictures here were just from Looking Glass, Looking Glass Road. They're just unbelievable scenery. It's got to be some of the best family pictures we've ever taken. I mean, it's crazy.
It was a little colder that day.
Right. The food at the Keyo Mercantile
Where
is
we were.
very, very good.
Yes.
Huge. And it's part of it's included in your tour, and at least with Whitefish it was, and it was really, really good. So good things to say about that.
Probably could even have shared, like we've mentioned before. They were
Right.
big sandwiches.
Right.
And the cookies, Mr. Joel treated us to
Oh
some
my
cookies.
gosh.
They were so good.
Chocolate chip caramel cookies. If you're at Keyo Mercantile at the end of Looking Glass Road, 100% get at least one of them.
Yeah.
He felt bad because it was funny because Joel, he's like, oh, I forgot to get cookies. My girlfriend gets mad at me when I come out here and I don't get cookies. And I said, well, go back in and get some cookies.
Yeah, please go get her some
And so
cookies.
when he did go in to get his girlfriend cookies, he actually brought us cookies too, which
Yeah,
I thought was really
it was
cool.
really sweet.
And I'm so glad he did because I'm not a huge cookie guy, but man, those are good.
Well, I understand why she wants the cookies now, because they were amazing.
Man. So after the tour, we went back and played in the lake again.
And this was funny, because we were in down jackets for our tour.
Yeah.
And back at Apgar, I guess we're decently, I don't know, different elevation.
Right.
And it was a good bit warmer. So we
got in
had
the lake.
different outfits for that occasion.
I actually got in the
and
lake
played.
this time. I didn't wimp out.
And I think we pulled up our chairs, sat in the rocks, had a
little
beverage,
beverage, yeah.
and chilled out for a little while. And this kind of back to the resting part. We actually did come back and rest.
At this point, I would say we're getting tired.
Yes.
You know, this was an 11-day trip, and so we're just going over to Glacier Park today. But at this point, we're getting kind of tired. So I think we ate that night at Eddie's again.
Again, just because it
Yeah.
was so easy.
It is good, and it was good. And then just went chilled, hung out, had another fire, wood-burning fireplace. I am a sucker for wood-burning fireplaces,
It was nice.
and I'll put that one to
I'm
work.
pretty sure it put me straight to sleep in the recliner that night before I
great.
made it to bed. So that was a great day. And then the next day,
So the next day,
well, it was
let's be
funny
honest here.
because we had plans. We were like, you know, our itinerary says we were going to get up and we were going to either hike the Rocky Point Trail or Avalanche Lake. And the kids that night before were like, "Can we please just sleep in
So we're
and rest?"
It's fine. Gives us a good reason to go back.
I guess so. We didn't
Yeah.
end up doing the hikes we had hoped to do that morning. But
Avalanche does come highly recommended.
yes,
Yep.
but instead we ended up saying, "Oh, we'll just have brunch." But by the time we made it to West Glacier, it was
lunch.
So we had lunch at Fredda's.
Now, to be fair, this is the
Again.
first time we slept in the whole trip.
Yeah,
So-
but we needed it.
Yeah,
So
we did.
so we were kind of just winging it that morning. So we had lunch at Fredda's,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a cute little putt-putt course right across the street in West Glacier Village, which sounds like a super touristy thing to do.
But did you remember what it's called?
West Glacier putt-putt?
No.
No.
Instead, it was called Golfing to the Sun Road.
Oh, golfing to the sun.
Golfing to the Sun.
Well, that's way cuter than West Glacier putt-putt.
Yeah.
So
It was hard.
It was hard.
It was a hard course. Holy crap.
So, but we
Yeah.
had a great time doing that. The weather was beautiful. Enjoyed some time in the sun, and we came back, I guess, and rested for a little bit.
We
before
came back and
went.
rested for not long because we had a rafting trip.
Yes, at
The
2:30.
kids' first whitewater rafting trip. Let me be clear here, set expectations again. Depending on time of year, Beckett's 9. He weighed, what are you at, 70 pounds, buddy?
Yeah, 68, 70.
68, 70 pounds. He was barely old enough and heavy enough to go on this trip literally 4 days beforehand because of the water was melting quicker, the water was
melt,
higher.
yeah.
He would not have been able to go. So they will clarify that with you. Basically, we booked whitewater because we wanted whitewater, but they were very clear if the snow melt's too heavy, if we've had a lot of rain, if the water's too high, you guys may end up being booked for a scenic float. But we lucked out and we were able to do the whitewater, and it was so much fun. Kids' first whitewater, our first whitewater in 10 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. So, I love whitewater rafting, and what a great first place for the kids to do it. I mean, they were nervous because it was class 3s were the max here. And I think the class 3s were perfect for them.
I agree. Yes, it was just right. When I wanted to do more, less would have probably been boring for them. And I'll be honest with you all, when Corey told me he booked rafting in Glacier, all I could think of was how freaking cold that was probably going to be.
I heard about it.
But we got wetsuits, we got
And splash guards.
splash guard jackets, we got the booties that go on with it.
It was borderline too warm for me.
Not for me. It
Yeah.
was perfect because I did get splashed plenty, and the water was very cold. I think it was 48 degrees. But the gear we had on made it very tolerable and kind of refreshing when you would get splashed.
And we
So-
used, important here, we did use an outfit called Montana Raft. Spencer was our guide. We did a private boat. He was really good. And Montana Raft, as of this video, is the only rafting outfitter that includes wetsuits and splash guards in their price if you want them.
good.
So that's one of their selling points. I didn't price shop. You might get raft it cheaper. I'm not sure, but Montana Raft was first class all the way. Highline, I think Highline is what the name brand raft. And Spencer was really, really good. He was knowledgeable.
Yeah, they were great, I will say. So don't let being in glacial water scare you. It's fine. It was
Yeah,
great.
they'll take care of you.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Like I said, I was kind of dreading it because it was going to be cold, and it ended
Right.
up being one of my favorite things we did out of the 10 days.
Well, and another thing, again, to set expectations, we had kind of an ideal setup with as far as not too much snow melt, not too much rain, but enough. As you go later in the season, those class 3s become class 2s, and class 2s are just class 1s now, and sometimes you're having to drag your boat along because the water gets really low if it gets really dry. So heads up on that too. I don't want you to see this footage of us on the Flathead River, and when you go, it's a totally different experience. It could be. We just had this particular experience, and if you go in late May, early June, this probably going to have a good chance of having the experience we had. I don't know what you'll experience later in July and August, and Spencer was very clear about that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He was. So anyway, that was a great time. Got
Yes.
back, and how long were we out there?
2.5 hour float right now when the water's running good. It could be up to 3.5 hour float when in late July and August if things have gotten dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It felt fast just because it was so fun.
It did not feel like, it felt like an hour.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seemed like it went by fast. So
Yeah.
got back from that. We were kind of hungry. We went to West Glacier Pizza, ate outside, and
Good pizza.
yeah,
You know,
it was fun.
I don't know if anyone watches One Bite Pizza reviews, but it's probably like a 6.5. All right. Nothing to write home about, but it's good.
That was kind of the grand finale of our trip was rafting.
Yeah.
So we had, like we said, pizza dinner, and then we headed back and started getting packed up for heading home the next day.
Yeah, exactly what we did. We flew into, as we went home, there's no direct flights from Kalispell to Atlanta, so we had to fly to Minneapolis, had a 2.5 hour layover there, and flew home. Got home a little bit late. I think we got home at 2:30 in the morning. That Saturday
We
morning.
think we were in bed by 2:30. Yeah.
But
it
yeah, we
was-
slept like a rock that night.
Yeah, and I think we've adjusted. So
Yeah, we've adjusted. We're getting back.
One thing I didn't mention:
Yep.
after pizza, we came back again, saw more wildlife.
Yes.
And then walked and had ice cream.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So there is ice cream in Apgar Village.
Yes.
If you stay close by and want to walk to
It's
that.
attached to Eddie's, but it's outside.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that
Right.
because I thought that was kind of a fun way to end the trip.
But you could certainly spend most of your time at Apgar Village, and I mean they have provisions. They have everything's high priced because they got to get it there. But yeah, Apgar Village was cool.
Yeah, and then the trip home was pretty easy. There's just no direct flight.
Right. And that is nice about Kalispell Airport. We were from the door of our cabin to the airport was 36 minutes. It's not bad at all. You know,
Yeah.
you compare that to some of the things you're dealing with, you know, when we flew into Phoenix to get up to Sedona and all that, that's a little bit different. So,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, the fact that Kalispell's there, that was really nice.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
And I think they're redoing that airport, so when you guys see it, it'll be even nicer than it was when we saw it. It was
right.
cute then. Yeah. I think that's it. You good?
I'm great.
There you go, guys. I will try to remember to link a lot of what we talked about in the description box below. If you have any questions, hop down in the comments. I will try to answer them as best I can. This was a great trip. I think we already know in our minds that we're going to look back on this as a core memory trip, 100%. The kids really enjoyed it. 9 and 12 are a really good age for a trip like this, I feel like.
I agree. I don't think I would have wanted for them to be any younger. That's just
Right.
me personally and the way our kids are at this age.
Right.
So,
Especially for the rafting.
and the
Yeah.
hiking.
And the hiking, yeah. Your kids may be different, but for us it was perfect. Guys, I hope you're great. I hope you've enjoyed this little 3-part series. Again, we've done Grand Teton and Yellowstone beforehand, so go back and check on those. And yeah, thank you for watching. We're really appreciative.
Thanks.
See you guys.